Hello, good morning, everyone. I am Sarah. I am a traditional Usui Reiki master teacher, a holistic life coach, and a yoga teacher. And I go live at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Tuesdays and Thursdays inside of my group, and Wednesdays out here on my business page so I can share and reach a few more people. Today I'm a little late because I was having technical difficulties, so sorry about that. If you watch this replay, please comment and say hashtag replay. If you're joining me live, please say hello. It helps me to reach more people when you engage with my page, and I really, really appreciate it. Today's topic, it's actually beautiful. It's about how to find the right spiritual path for you. We live in a world where we have so many options, and that could be a little bit overwhelming, a little confusing. And oftentimes what I see people do is they try something and they go up the mountain, and then things get a little challenging, and then they come back down. They're like, okay, let me try this other way, and they go this way, and they like something and they don't like something, and then they come back down the mountain and they go try something else, and it doesn't build that consistent progress, because every time things get a little bit difficult, people change their minds and change directions and just meander all over the place. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what happens when you really start a spiritual path for real, how to kind of stick with it, and how to know, like, okay, so maybe you did take a path that wasn't the right one and something is not quite working. How do you know the difference? How do you know the difference between you just changing your mind and being scatterbrained and trying something else and just getting bored? And how do you know if this is actually, like, if you need to stick with it a little bit longer? Does that make sense? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're also going to talk about what's holding you back and why is it that sometimes you can't really stay on the path that you have chosen. So before I get started with all of that, I am promoting 2 events this week. They're both beautiful and awesome. Number one, free 5-day challenge, January 25th through the 29th, how to create a sustainable spiritual practice. This was a huge success last time I ran it in September. I'm only going to run it 3 times a year. So it's January, I think May and September. So if you want to take advantage of this, it's completely free, and it's going to run Monday through Friday inside of my Facebook group. I have a VIP option this year. On January 30th, I'm holding a special event to help you understand how manifesting works and how to create the life that you love. And I know there's a lot of people doing this kind of stuff because it's the beginning of the year. But trust me, this is gonna be a little bit different than you have ever experienced. Everything that I've created in my life to get me to where I am today, I did with this energy awareness. So, you can create a vision board, but if you don't have the right understanding of the principles behind it, it doesn't matter how many affirmations you do and how much you believe in it and how much you look at it every day. We have to get to the root cause of what's blocking you from manifesting this beautiful life that you desire. Okay, so make sure that you save the date for that. It's a Saturday, January 30th. I don't know the exact time off the top of my head, but if you sign up for the free challenge, then you'll get the information to opt in for that as well. And then the second thing is the yoga teacher training 9-month program starts March 16. It is going to be beautiful, amazing, and like literally life-changing, to the point that I am actually offering 150% money back guarantee on that yoga teacher training program. If you pay for the program and you go through the 9 months and your life has not transformed completely, I will give you your money back plus 50%. Okay, that's how much I trust and believe in this program. It's the most affordable way that you have to work with me. And if you just read the testimonials on my website, I want you to just take the leap of faith without any risk, because I've got you and I promise you it's going to be amazing. And that's how confident I am in this program and the fact that it's just one of the best yoga teacher training programs that you're going to find out there. Okay, so with all of that said, we live in a society that has a lot of options for everything, right? Even if you go to the supermarket and you try to pick in tomato sauce, it's like, oh my goodness, how many options can we have? Low sodium and sugar-free and organic and basil and this and that and the other thing. And funny enough, spirituality and mindfulness has become that way as well. And that makes it just an interesting thing, because in the old days, right, and maybe in other cultures and in other countries, there was a certain like standard that spiritual teachers lived to and that they followed, and it was actually something that was deeply respected. So if someone in the family decided to kind of just leave the world behind and go to study on a monastery for 12 years, they were respected. They were like, it was almost like an honor and a privilege to walk the spiritual path. Not everybody was called to that. Now, technically, everybody's called. Few choose it because it's not always easy to walk it for real. But the point is, in the old days and to this day in different societies, it has a different status, right? It has a different level of respect that society holds towards this kind of work. But in our world, in the Western world, in the United States, in the way that we live life nowadays, spirituality is oftentimes an afterthought. And if you choose to invest time and money and dedicate yourself to studying and all of this, a lot of the times, and I don't understand this, but this is what I hear from my students, like, it's not that you're mocked, but you're not necessarily taken seriously, and you're definitely not respected for it, right? You're not looked up to for choosing to study this and follow this path. Instead, you're just like, you're just cuckoo, you're just crazy, you're woo-woo stuff, and dismissed almost, right? Which can put a lot of that in the system. And why is that? Well, because a lot of people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And so, yes, it has been kind of like watered down. And that's part of the reason that it is sometimes difficult to figure out, okay, which one's for real and which one isn't. Like, is this spiritual teacher for real, or is this just made up egotistic stuff? And, you know, you might sign up for something and you might start the work and it doesn't have that solidity, I guess, because it's not something that it's as tangible as other things. If you sign up for a consulting class on how to create a business or something, you're gonna have tangible results, right? Measurable things. If you sign up for like a spiritual program, it's a feeling. It's a different level of consciousness. And sometimes you might wonder, okay, is this for real or is this delusional? Am I dream? Like, what's going on? And then doubt creeps in. And so doubt is normal. It's one of the obstacles that are going to come up when you go on a spiritual path. You're going to doubt yourself and whether you can do it or not, and whether you're crazy or not. You're going to doubt your teacher and whether you should be trusting this person or not. And the answer to that is you should always trust yourself first. Whatever your teacher says, you need to see if it's true for you. Because your teacher's coming from wherever we're coming from our level of perception, and we might not have it completely right? So you could doubt yourself, you could doubt your teacher, or you could doubt the method. Sometimes there's so many methods, from yoga to qigong to tai chi to meditation to different energy techniques, tapping techniques, shamanism, all sorts of different ways. And they kind of serve a different purpose at different times in your life. And it depends kind of on the phase of life that you are in. So let me just take the yoga path, for example. When I was in my 20s and I was hyper and it was like the fire state of my life, I loved hot yoga. It's this crazy hot yoga you do in a hot room and you sweat, and I used to do it 5-6 times a day. And that's the phase that I was at the time. And I loved it. It was kind of like I had to be challenged to that degree physically in order for my mind to actually shut up and be quiet and pay attention to whatever the heck is going on, right? As I got older, now that I'm in my 40s, my practice is completely different. First of all, my body's different, right? So I don't work out to the extent that I used to when I was in my 20s and in my 30s. And you need to find that for you. The practice that's right for you, it's going to depend on your, not just your personality, but the state of life that you're in and the way that your entire system functions from a holistic perspective. So it's not like just your physical ability to do this, that, or the other thing, but it's also how your mind works. So a lot of times, if you have been like highly educated and you have been in the Western education system and you got a doctorate and a PhD or whatever it is, your brain is kind of like highly developed to absorb large amounts of information, and you have been trained to understand things from a rational perspective. And so you're going to need a teacher who could explain it to you from that point of view. Okay? Where someone who maybe hasn't had that kind of over education, for lack, I don't mean to dismiss it, it's just sometimes the education in the Western world is always external and exploring the world outside, not the internal world that we need to explore when we're working on a spiritual path, right? So if someone has not been through that level of education, their brain actually is a little bit simpler sometimes. They understand things from an intuitive perspective, and so they might not need all of the rational explanations as to why things are this way or that way. That might not even make sense to them. Okay? So you have to kind of see how you work and find the path that resonates with you. And a good teacher will be able to meet you where you are. A good teacher listens, pays attention. They don't come to your class or to your lecture with an agenda of, let me show you this is the way it is. First, the teacher, a good teacher, is going to have to see where the student is at and how they work, and meet them there and kind of speak to them in their language. And that is very, very important. So that's one of the signs that you're looking for to know which is the right path for you. It has to resonate. And you are only going to find the teacher and the path and the method based on your karma and your level of awareness and consciousness. You will intuitively find, based on your vibration, that's what you have access to. Okay, so it's not that everybody needs to be following a certain teaching or teacher or method or whatever. Is as you go through the path, the more you evolve, the different levels of teachers and the different paradigm of understanding you're going to reach. And as you do that, the next teacher will show up. So you know that saying of when the student is ready, the teacher appears. It's the teacher at that level. And then you might work with that teacher for a little while and it serves you, or maybe it doesn't, and maybe you have a negative experience, whatever it might be, and that's still a lesson for you to learn from. And then when you've kind of passed that class, the next teacher will appear. And you need to be open to that, and you need to be open to shifting. Just see how I'm doing in time. Okay, so with all of that said, whatever path you choose, you will have to face certain uncomfortable things at some point up the mountain. There is no easy way up the mountain. There is no shortcut up the mountain. I actually just got a book recently that I think it's called You Are the Mountain. And I thought that, and I got it just because the title was so right. I was like, yes, right? People think that they're trying to climb the spiritual path somewhere externally. And that if they just keep going this way, following this teacher, following this method, following this, they're going to get somewhere. All of these are different tools to help you go within so that you can climb your own mountain and transform your own mountain. So I thought, I just started reading it and it is right on point and I like it. Next time maybe I'll show it to you and tell you who the author is. I don't remember off the top of my head, but the title is correct. You are the mountain. So as you begin to go up the mountain, when you hit a block of something that you need to be working on and healing and transforming, the doubt that we talked about earlier will creep in. And then you might start to blame the lack of progress or the stuckness on the teacher, on the method, on the whatever, anything other than yourself. And then you're gonna have to decide, is that really the case? Or is it you? Is it like I've hit a block, and to continue to go up the mountain in this path and continue to do this method and this teacher and this way of working is gonna help you get past that energy block? Or is the path really the problem? And the way that you kind of figure out which one is based on the reaction of your teacher to the experience. So your teacher has to be accepting and patient. Okay? They have to see where you are with compassion and always be able to guide you back within. And if they're able to do that, then you probably are with the right teacher and the right method. But if instead the teacher begins to kind of like defend or blame or point fingers or make excuses, or here's a good one, if they begin to egotistically like pump your ego and blow smoke inside your ears, then you might not be working with someone who's truly in a neutral place. A teacher who's truly confident and in a neutral place does not take what you do personal. They will always kind of just act as a neutral mirror and reflect it back at you from a loving place of acceptance, without judgment, without criticism, and without fake, what do they call it? Like fake compliments. I see a lot of teachers who are, supposedly, positive, inspiring, motivational teachers. And the way that they work is they just pump their students' ego to, you're great, and just think about you this way, and you could do it, and you deserve it, and you're worth it. And I'm not saying you're not, okay? All I'm saying is somebody who does that a lot is trying to give you compliments so that you like them. And that's actually something that we just as humans in society have been trained to do. Not every society works this way, but a lot of people nowadays are used to saying nice things and complimenting other people just so that they're liked. When your teacher does that a lot, you have a problem, because then you really can't do the work because you're delusional. And you think that you're already there. And then the teacher who's in a higher position is validating this delusion and making you believe that you're already there. A lot of the times I actually have the opposite problem with students. They will come, they'll start working with me, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I found it. This is it. I am there. I am so excited. I'm on the way. I'm on the path. And I'm like, no, give it a few weeks, give it a few months. You will go through ups and downs. You're not there yet. They're like, no, but you don't understand. I feel so good and so much at peace, and I'm so grateful to have found you. And then they're like almost want to bow. I literally had students bow to me, and I'm like, do not dare. Like, I don't need that. It's ridiculous. There's another sign when a teacher takes credit for your work. And they feed their sense of self and egotism as a teacher. Oh, I'm such a great teacher because I get great results. Your work is your work, and your teacher needs to acknowledge that. And that doesn't mean that you're not grateful for what they teach you and how much they're helping. It just means that your teacher has to empower you to also see what you are doing to make these changes happen, and not just take all the credit like if they're doing it for you and you couldn't do it without them. I don't ever think students can do things with or without me. I help, I assist, but they have to do their part. And as a matter of fact, they go through a very like rigorous interview process, and there's a lot of students I don't take because they're looking for me to solve their problems and do it for them, and I can't. They have to be able to do their work. So that coin has two sides as well, right? The student has to do their share, and the teacher has to make sure that they don't take credit for that work as well. So look for a teacher that doesn't compliment you too much and it's trying to be liked. Look for a teacher that doesn't take credit for your work. Look for a teacher who's kind of real with you and is willing to show you the things that you need to change from a place of non-judgment and lightheartedness, and sometimes a little bit of humor even, because some of the things that we do as humans are so dysfunctional, they're actually funny. Like, if you look at it from a lighthearted way and you don't beat yourself up about the wrong things that you do, you actually can make a little bit more progress in your spiritual path. So make sure that you know if it's you or if it's actually the teacher or the path. And that's a decision that you have to make. And when you know, and you need to trust it. And you don't need to try and rationalize things one way or the other. So that's my talk for today. I have to get on a call in 2 minutes, so I have to log off because I had technical difficulties today. And I was a little bit late. But two things: the free challenge January 25th to the 29th, and the yoga teacher training. All of the details for all of that are on my website, sarahco.com. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Namaste.